Hello. I seem to have forgotten to mention to you before that I had a very interesting weekend last weekend, full of all kinds of great ideas and some really cool sites, and I'll show them to you soon. But first, I want to show you, or tell you rather, that I have made some decisions, in no small part because of the weekend I had, regarding Lord Blackwater, his name, and some things around him. I have, just off screen there, information I've written down. Just to remind, Blackwater is named for his stream in Perthshire, the big county in Scotland, specifically in the Glenshee parish. Well, it was a parish as of 1894. We're going to be messing around with the history a little bit, as usual. So, what we're going to end up with is a barony that never actually existed, yet was in a place that does, arguably, and I'll tell you more about it later. It's a really fascinating place, really beautiful in a stark sort of way that I particularly enjoy. And if you like skiing, apparently it's really great to visit. I'm not going to go skiing there right now. I'm going to tell you about this character that I keep not telling you about. Alright, Lord Blackwater, from Glenshee in eastern Perthshire. His actual name, his family name, is Elphinstone. And that is a name that's actually been around for a long time. And there was in fact a line of barons named Elphinstone, although they died out shortly before the character exists. How convenient. I should also point out to you that there are other Elphinstones around. Writers, clergymen, a variety of people, and in fact a couple of different spellings of it. We're going to go with a pretty basic Elphin, E-L-P-H-I-N, stone, all put together as one word. And that's his family name, an honest-to-goodness family name from a little bit south of there. His first name, remember, I was going to make sound like something I needed to sound big. I'm actually going to use the name of a Roman emperor, which in Latin means big, Magnus. It's a very popular name throughout actually the British Isles and Northern Europe, and I know a couple of people by that name. And it's a good name. It's a good solid sounding name because it means big. And Magnus Elphinstone could plausibly be a mad scientist's name. Now, Elphinstone has to do with the little people. Glenshee has to do with the little people. And Lord Blackwater has nothing to do with the little people. And I can work that into the character as sort of a good fun part of what he has as personality. He's very strictly scientific, and yet things happen around him he has no intention of trying to explain. I'm not sure how much I'm going to work this into it, but it's there. The fact of the matter is I'm going to unnecessary links to even bother naming him the rest of the way right now. I don't have very much information about him, Lord Blackwater is really all he's likely to be called. Nobody's going to call him Magnus, probably, or not very often, without getting in trouble. Some time ago, I knew that I was going to want to make interesting things and offer them to people who want props and fun stuff to do from the point of view of Lord Blackwater. And I'll be doing videos from the point of view of Lord Blackwater eventually. Well, I can't really have him running his own store. He's a mad scientist and a baron, and that would be really kind of odd. Now, Glenshee is in essentially the ancestral home of Clan MacThomas. I will make the shopkeeper for the online store named Ian MacThomas, and he is going to be one of Lord Blackwater's people. In what capacity? I don't know. Is he going to be a regular shopkeeper? Is he going? He runs an emporium. But is he actually going to be something else? Is he going to be a scientist of his own? A librarian? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. I don't need to figure it out now, and odds are strong that no one's ever actually going to see him unless I draw him or something. I just need somebody to run the store that's not Lord Blackwater. It would be just inappropriate. So, Ian McThomas it is, running the store, and eventually I'm going to need to make things and then put them in the store. I'll get that for you as soon as I can, I promise. I just wanted to tell you today that I finally have a name for Lord Blackwater, and some other ideas for his history, but I don't know if they're going to make any difference. It's not nearly as important as the props and costumes that I'll be making for him, and their story, and his recent stories of his adventures. His family history isn't as important, but it might be a good idea for me to come up with some of that as well, one thing at a time. For now, I finally have a name.